And who told the ocean you can only come this far? And who showed the moon where to hide till evening? Whose words alone can catch a falling star? Well, I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. All of creation testifies this life within me cries. I know my Redeemer lives. Yeah, the very same God that spins things in orbit runs to the weary, the worn, and the weak, and the same gentle hands that hold me when I'm broken. They conquer death to bring me victory. Now I know my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. Let all creation testify. Let this life within me cry. I know my Redeemer. He lives to take away my shame, and He lives forever. I'll proclaim that the payment for my sin was the precious life He gave. But now He's alive, and there's an empty grave. And I know my Redeemer lives. I know that I know that I know that I know my Redeemer lives. Because He lives, I can face I spoke with Him this morning, the tomb is empty.
Good evening to you. I'm Christine Johnson.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Maurice Dubois. Those stories are straight ahead. But first, after all these years, the Reverend Al Sharpton admits he was an FBI informant.
Yes, he says that he was the cat that got the rats, but others say that Sharpton's secret life was not by choice. CBS 2 political reporter Marcia Kramer has the story.
Michelle Obama probably never knew that one of the guests at her recent White House 50th birthday party was an FBI mafia informant who helped bring down members of the Genovese crime family. Reverend Al Sharpton, now a confidant of both the First Lady and the President, and of Mayor Bill de Blasio, has his own unique take on his days as the government's confidential informant number 7.
In my own mind, I was not an informant. I was cooperating with investigations.
The revelations threaten to embarrass Sharpton as he kicks off his National Action Network convention this week, with de Blasio and President Obama the headliners. But de Blasio, who calls Sharpton family, is sticking by his buddy.
Doesn't change.
As we do give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, in all good doings and sayings, how wonderful it is that we do celebrate life, give thanks to your presence, of course, with us. Of course, you already know where you are. The shock of the hour. And this is the hour and the time to be shocked and shook up. The tiger's nest, of course, give thanks for such animal spirit, and we do glorify our Heavenly Mother and Father of creation, and give thanks for the King and Queen of salvation as such. Yeah. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. It is a joy. How happy I am that I can take this moment to express myself, even in whatever way the expression will come. So obviously I've already given you a heads up as such as exactly what we will be touching upon, and we touched it there a moment ago. And it is something that came out a few years now, a couple of years ago, as it relates to Al Sharpton admitting being an FBI informant. Officially, although he's saying, as you heard, you know, he wouldn't really like to call it that. But that's what he wouldn't like to call it that, but that's not how it goes in the real world, and legal terms and official terms. So, although this is a few years now, and I know I got wind of it, but it's only within the last year I actually stumbled upon this again, if you want to use the term stumble. And I said that one day I want to, you know, put it out, invent it as such. And lo and behold, the day has come. This is quite interesting. And to me, this is very serious. Now, some people would say, obviously, off the bat, don't add to it. Meaning that, as he is saying, that's Brother Al Sharpton, he was just, you know, cooperating with investigation. And the FBI, the CIA, and the MI5 and the KGB and all of these organizations are really considered upstanding organization within a government system. This is what we are supposed to see them as, you know. I want you to get me good. It's like the police force. We're supposed to see the police force as the protector of the people and an upstanding, depending on where you are, Christian organization, really, you know, with members that have given their life to protect the community and protect society and ensure that the laws of the land are carried out or not broken or whatever the case is. So the same thing really goes for, hear me good, the same thing really goes for the FBI and the CIA and all them letters there. That is what we're supposed to believe. But now, because many of us are conscious, because many of us know the real truth, since we mentioned letters, okay, the IMF, that's what it goes, the international MF there, you know, that is the organization that really balance off the money on the globe, you know, and says, well, listen, this dollar ain't worth nothing, or now, you know, the yen is worth this, and the peso is worth that, and the Japs is worth the other, and the dollar is worth this. I just made up the Japs stuff. You know. But the point is, that's what they do. Now, we are supposed to see them as an upstanding, genuine body that is, you know, genuinely from their heart looking after the economic affairs of the world. But those of us who are conscious know otherwise. So when you have a certain knowledge, a certain level of consciousness, and you hear that one of your stalwart leaders, listen to me, man, listen to me, listen to me. When you have a certain level of consciousness and a certain level of understanding of what's going on in the world. So when you see the bank of this and the bank of that and who prints the money and who, you have an understanding, and we went to the moon and this and that, you have an understanding and you know falsehood from truth. You know how to spot the lies right away. And you know that even the evil serpent speaks with a forked tongue, a double tongue. And sometimes there's truth overlaid with lies, and lies mixed with a little truth. And sometimes it's just a full plate of lies. And believe it or not, sometimes it's the full plate of truth. But what's coming for dessert? Yeah, and that's how you got to deal with the enemy, or know how to deal with the enemy in all sense and all circumstances. So I'm just showing you now that with a level of consciousness, you know what the FBI is, and you're one of your stalwart leaders. Now, you never knew he was mixed up with the FBI. In fact, listen to me good. In fact, many people would have suggested that in the past. And some of us would have stood and said, no, man, not Brother Al. Not Brother Al. Maybe, maybe Jesse, but not Brother Al. And now Brother Al himself, maybe because he was put in a corner and he had to, bring it out and say, really, yeah, the truth is that I don't want to call it an informant. People say the same thing about the Minister Louis Farrakhan, and some other ones. Yeah, people say that. So now that is bringing you to consider, like, well, what's going on here? I mean, But anyway, to be honest, on my own personal view, I would never really class Brother Al Sharpton really with Minister Farrakhan. In fact, I was just saying it that way because I've seen ones defend Brother Al Sharpton. I don't think I've ever been in a position personally where I have found myself defending him, like drawing my sword for him in any conversation whatsoever. Not that I have any disrespect for him at all. In fact, as I said, I don't know him personally, and the little that I know of him, and understanding his position in the whole civil rights struggle, I am more lean to be respectful of him and honor him as one of our elders, Now, as I said, you wouldn't really expect, if this is a upstanding one, you wouldn't expect to hear them wrapped up in any way whatsoever with the FBI or the CIA. But already, he's already saying, listen, man, he just saw himself cooperating with investigation. And before I continue to run that clip, I'm just going to, if you want to say, I'm going to express something totally in his defense. That I'm just doing this in a sense as the moderator here of the program then. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, straight up. I'm just doing it. Not like I'm defending him at all. Straight. I mean, if I was, I would say. If I was, I would say. But I'm saying this now really totally in his defense. Whatever the investigation was, and you are approached by these people, It's just, again, just like the police. For those of you, I'm sure all of you have some understanding of what it means to be approached by the police. If not the FBI, at least the police. You know, and whether you want to deal with them or not, they say, well, listen now, we want you to come downtown with us. We need to ask you a few questions. Doesn't mean it's you they want, you know, but they feel you know something that can help them. And you got to really go. Well, you don't really got to go, you know, specifically, especially depending on where you are. But if you don't want to really go through all them red tape, because, I mean, for you not to go, you got to really know your law. You got to know your constitution. You got to be sharp. And be very, 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 very sharp, you know, especially depending on who you're dealing with. But the main matter is when that arm of the government that deals with the law, the judicial system, that's an arm of the government as well, depending on where you are. When that summons you, you just gotta go. I mean, that's what it is. That's the end of the matter. When that summons you, it doesn't necessarily mean the police come and call you, you know, because they're just the police. But when the government, that arm of it, summons you, this is the law we're dealing with now. You gotta go. Well, you don't gotta go, but there's a consequence for not going. That's what I'm saying. Now, you're put in that position where you have to cooperate with them. That's it. So now, if what he's saying, because that's what he's saying that he never saw it as if he was with them, but they gave him a number 7. Yeah? FBI informant number 7. That's not what they say on the report. That's an official CBS report as well. Eh? That's what they said. So I don't know exactly what his standing is. If he has a number, that's more to me than just cooperating, because if you call me and say, hey, we want to ask you some questions, we understand you were in the vicinity of such and such when such and such happened. Well, I was there. I can tell you all that I know. Okay, now we're going to give you a secret name. What? I don't need no secret name to tell you what I know. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm just going to tell you what I know. I'm not going to add to it. I'm not going to take away. What you need to give a secret name for? What are you talking about? So the number and the secret names, I mean, that's another thing altogether. But anyway, I'm just bringing it on balance, eh? Just balancing it out. CBS New York.
Good evening to you. I'm Christine Johnson.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Maurice Dupont. Those stories are straight ahead, but first...
So it's Christine Johnson and Maurice DuBois. He pronounced it differently, but DuBois giving you this story, and I'm sure you know them. They are famous people that you see on your television.
Good evening to you. I'm Christine Johnson.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Maurice Dupont. Those stories are straight ahead, but first, after all these years, the Reverend Al Sharpton admits...
Hold on. I like how he said that. After all these years. You know, see, that's the other thing. You know? That's the other thing. You know, when a man cheats on his wife or a woman cheats on her husband or a person commits, I mean, come on, don't hear like you jumped there a while ago. Or commits something, some act of such nature, and they keep it a secret for a long time. Even if they stop for years and, you know, the other party finds out, it's as if it hurts more than if they did it and just come straight and say, hey, you know what I did? And it will hurt them too. Yeah, it will hurt them, and the results may just be the same. But there would be a heavier feeling when you make it prolonged. So, I mean, when you hear your start watching, and that's what hits you, you know. After all these years...
He was an FBI informant.
Yes, he says that he was the cat that got the rats, but others say that Sharpton's secret life was not by choice. CBS 2 political reporter Marsha Kramer has the story.
Michelle Obama probably never knew that one of the guests at her recent White House 50th birthday party was an FBI mafia informant who helped bring down members of the Genovese crime family. Reverend Al Sharpton, now a confidant of both the First Lady and the President and of Mayor Bill de Blasio, has his own unique take on his days as the government's confidential informant number 7.
In my own mind, I was not an informant. informant. I was cooperating with investigations.
The revelations threaten to embarrass Sharpton as he kicks off his National Action Network convention this week with de Blasio and President Obama the headliners. But de Blasio, who calls Sharpton family, is sticking by his buddy.
Doesn't change the relationship one bit. I'm very proud to be his friend. I think he has done a lot of good for the city of New York and for this country. I have the exact same positive view of him I had before.
Sharpton has been dogged for years by reports that he was an FBI informant, helping the government go after boxing promoter Don King and music executives. Now we learn he also went after mobsters, including the legendary Vincent the Chin Gigante, the so-called Oddfather who paraded around in his bathrobe and pajamas. Though he has ducked and dodged questions about whether he wore a wire for the feds, that wasn't possible today since a batch of government documents were made public.
The conversations were recorded.
And there's also the issue of how he became.
No, I mean, so the man was wearing wires for the feds. Now, he often dodged these questions, the report is saying. But this was not possible today, since some recently, some documents, some government documents recently surfaced,
Though he has ducked and dodged questions about whether he wore a wire for the feds, that wasn't possible today since a batch of government documents were made public.
The conversations were recorded.
And there's also the issue of how he became an informant. Some say he was pressured into it after he was caught in a drug sting. This HBO undercover sting video that aired in 2002 shows Sharpton with a cowboy hat pulled down over his bouffant hairdo. Sharpton appears to nod when an agent offers him a cut from future drug sales. But now Sharpton claims he went to the feds for protection from threats from mob-connected music executives and was asked to rat out the bad guys.
They were threatening to kill me.
And while the feds say his information helped bring down guys like Gigante, Sharpton says he didn't know how his information was being used.
I have never met any of these guys. The guy with the pajamas, I don't walk around with guys that walk outside pajamas. I never met these guys.
While Sharpton says he's not embarrassed by anything that he did. What he is embarrassed about, he says, is how, quote, fat he used to be now that he has reinvented himself as a skinny guy. By the way, sources say the mayor will cut the ribbon tomorrow at the start of Sharpton's 3-day National Action Network convention.
Yeah. So, as he's saying, he never really met none of these people. The guy that walk around in the pajamas, he never really had no association with him. The HBO video does show him with the cowboy hat giving that little nod when the man said, he'll give you a cut from the deal. That's what it looks like. And he's saying that he went to the FBI for protection from mobsters and gangsters that were out to kill him. Now, he don't know how the information was used. Remember, he's wired. He's not supposed to know how the information was used. He never met the man in the pajamas. I don't mean nothing. You went out wired and you came back with the information. Not because you're not inside of the lab when they're cooking up everything. You could be considered responsible for all that went down. I'm not saying that's bad. So he brought down a kingpin that is hustling drugs, that is killing maybe thousands of people. Okay, hip hip hooray. I'm just saying, yeah. But the point is now, so now the accusations of him meddling in the life of Don King and other music executives, like who? Like who? So now this is suspicious action. That's my point. This is not, I hear we saying Al Sharpton, We're saying Al Sharpton. But this is not Al Sharpton. This is the Reverend Al Sharpton. He was a reverend since he was a little boy. I think 12 years old. Go and check his history. You also see him on the program there where they were interviewing the Minister Farrakhan. That white-haired brother there, I can't remember his name. But anyway, I can't remember his name. But he was on that program there. And he was saying on that program that Farrakhan is our leader. Farrakhan is our leader. And I assume this is around the same time when he was nodding his head in the cowboy hat. So, whether it's before or after, it's around the same time. So my point is now, all of this time here, the brother was involved one way or the other with the FBI. Nobody knew. People were accusing him of, for whatever reason, people were accusing him of being involved with the FBI. And maybe he would say, well, for secrecy, he would always deny it. But now it is made official. The knowledge has come out, not by him. It came out, it slipped out then, if you want to call it that. So now he's admitting it. So what I'm trying to say, if the papers didn't surface, would he have admitted it? If the papers didn't come out, and you were supposed to approach him today and say, Brother Al Sharpton, people always said that you have been a part of the FBI, you used to work with them. Is that so? Oh, come on, you believe that, and you know, whatever the case is. Would he still be doing that if the papers didn't come out? As simple as this subject is, this is some serious stuff. Now, I'm not saying that I put my life in the hand of Al Sharpton. In fact, I don't think Al Sharpton directly has affected me really in any way. But he's obviously a character that is known in the struggle for equal rights and justice amongst black people, specifically in the US. And I always find it interesting when I hear brothers and sisters say, where is Al Sharpton in this case? Meaning that it appears as if people like Al Sharpton, they're very selective in the cases that they come out and march for and protest for. In fact, people consider Al Sharpton again as one of the main individuals, one of the main go-to guy when you want to calm down and quell the black community who are ready to cut throat and do what they have to do to get their liberation. Anytime the Ebonites rise up, ready to rebel because the overseer, KRS-One, where are you? The overseer, the officer would have murdered one of our young Ebonites in the streets or raped one of our young Ebonites in the alleyway. And it came over the 7 o'clock news. And by 7:30, we're out there in the hundreds. By 8 o'clock, we're out there in the thousands. And we have our torches, and we're in our ski masks. And some of us, we have our heat well packed, baseball bats, and all sorts of spikes and chains that you only see in biker movies. Then all of a sudden, here comes Al Sharpton and say, hold on, brothers, let's not move too hasty. We gotta think rational here. If we go ahead and attack, what will happen to us tomorrow? At least 100 of you will end up in jail. And I know you have little babies at home. Little Raekwon is at home. Jessica's at home. And your wonderful wife, girlfriend, or whatever. You can't. Who's going to fend for them? Think about it, my brothers and sisters. Let's not be too hasty. I've already written up a letter to speak to the Attorney General tomorrow. I have a meeting with the mayor next week, and we're going to try to address the situation. Now, this is reality, you know. This is what happens every time. It is the truth. It's what happens every time. And in fact, some of us as the younger ones, you know, at times when the older one comes and say, you know, calm down, youngster. We tend to believe that, listen, this is wisdom talking here. This is experience. And it is, you know. To some degree, it is experience. To some degree, it is wisdom. And sometimes, you know, age is correct. But is the age genuine? And even sometimes the aged and gray-haired ones are genuine, but they're genuinely psychologically enslaved. They may not be. They may not be on the payroll or working for any FBI or anyone. But the school system has beaten their brains out so much. And the church and all its additives have rinsed out their minds so much that when you draw the sword to kill the beast, they themselves will jump in front of the gun and tell you, oh, no, 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 Leroy, take it easy. Don't kill Massa yet. Don't kill Massa. Hold on. Hold on. Let's try to get along now. But that's just because they're psychologically enslaved, man. But then they got another one that's not psychologically enslaved. Yeah. Not psychologically enslaved at all. For whatever reason, he has decided, and she has decided, to join the enemy secretly too. Still, you know, pretending he's with us. But secretly, he's with the enemy. So when you're ready now to cut off the enemy's throat, cut his neck and slice his throat and decapitate his head from his body, all of a sudden here he comes now, or here she comes, ready to try their best to put some water on the fire here and cool down the porridge and say, no, let's do this another way. You know, we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to spoil our good hair doing, our nail job and pedicure and manicure. Let's see if we can handle this the legal way. Let's put some money together and hire the best lawyer and see if we can carry this to the Supreme Court. And I mean, come on, man. When these killers dragged us over here, no Supreme Court was involved. Huh? You see, we live in a kind of, maybe their Supreme Court, but that didn't have anything to do with us. You know, one of the key signs, listen to this. This may seem like if I've gone on something else, but one of the key signs to show you for a fact that somebody is enslaved is when they say that slavery was once legal. Anybody to tell you slavery was once legal, that's a slave talking to you. What do you mean slavery was once legal? Legal where? What are you talking about? You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the same vein of confusion that tells you Christopher Columbus discovered the West Indies. That's the same vein of confusion that tells you that James Bruce discovered the River Nile. Slavery was once legal. Once legal where? What you talking about? It was once legal. And believe it or not, still legal. But let's just stay with the official word so I don't confuse you. It was once legal in the eyes of the Europeans. So what you want to tell me? That in that day and time, when you were massacring the Africans, when you were packing them like sardines on the bottom of the ships, having them excreting and peeing and vomiting and even having babies under there, feeding them slop just to keep them alive, and if they weren't making it, you're going to just throw them overboard. We're not even considering all that was done on the mainland before you got them thus far. Feeding them to sharks and then bringing them to the Western world, and that's a next kettle of confusion again. You mean to tell me, if you look in the eyes of any of these enslaved and say, hey, take it easy, this is something legal we're doing here, they're supposed to just hush them out and humble because in your eyes it's legal? So when an African now, someone that is descendant from these people that went through such a horror is going to tell you that slavery was once legal, be careful. Be careful. You have a traitor right there with you. Eh? You got somebody that will sell you out in a second unless you can talk sense to them. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they have never heard the truth. But if you bring the truth to them, and after a period of time, they still tell you that slavery was once legal, and they don't add to it that they mean in the European world, but they're saying it as if this is what history says, and we all are to believe this, that slavery was once legal. Be careful. If you live in the house with that person there, be careful. What you eat, how you sleep, lock your doors, man. I don't care who it is. Because when they see you rising up and red, black, and greening up, I don't know what they would do to you. People kill themselves when they're not happy. I don't know what they would, anybody that tell you slavery was illegal. And don't get me wrong, the history books says that, you know. It does say that. That's why I say you could be careful with them and take your time to reform such a person. Because they seriously need help. A person that says that is seriously gone. And if you show them the truth, and even psychologically, just let them understand that, hey, there were two sets of people involved here. It wasn't legal for the people on the bottom end of this, you know. And if they can't comprehend that, well, you have someone on your hand that I sure would slit your throat when you're not looking. So Al Sharpton now, wrapping up with the FBI, very suspect. And some of us, I mean, it's as clear as day, it's out in the news. We don't have to juggle and fumble with it anymore. And it's sad too. As I said, although I never have heard ones fiercely defend these cats, just like how they defend others today. You know, that is why when one speak about Minister Farrakhan being this and being that and being the other, I always say to people, hey, them is some serious accusation. Them is accusations that is worthy of death. I'm very serious, not the accuser. Well, even they too, you got to be careful what you say. But if anyone in such a position, you understand, in such a position would sell out the people, however they're doing it, wow. Just like how they themselves speak, that's worthy of death. Now, personally, I don't believe it. I don't. I'm speaking as it relates to the Minister Farrakhan. I don't believe that the minister is working for nobody and nothing. But if that is so, just like Brother Al here, wow, that's some serious stuff. The Scientology stuff, that's on another level altogether. But I'm only bringing this, I'm not putting no spotlight on no one, you know. I'm just showing you that it's not a good feeling, because these are people. Brother Al is someone that is seen as a stalwart in the community internationally, like a Desmond Tutu there. Like a Desmond Tutu. I'm not a Tutu fan fully, you know, man, for certain reasons, you know, but I ain't going into that now. But then now if you heard Desmond Tutu was working with the South Africa mercenaries, them and undercover or whatever, how would that make you feel? Although I'm not his biggest fan, I wouldn't like that at all. In the same way, I'm not too pleased to hear this. You understand? These are our leaders that we hold. These are the people that we put our life in their hand. Al Sharpton, civil rights. When somebody gets shot and somebody this and that, we go and call for Al, man, and Al come out and talk for us. Al go and represent us and see what he can do for us and come and hug the mothers. That's what Al does. He's been working with the FBI all this time. What are you telling me? I mean, this ain't no joke, you know. It sounds simple, but this ain't funny. It ain't funny at all. It's not. So how am I supposed to look at Al Sharpton after today? Stokely Steve Coakley has a lecture, man, directly dealing with Martin Luther King and how Jesse Jackson, according to him, was involved in that. And I mean, the way that he dropped it, it's a serious put down. You gotta consider, man, these civil rights giants. You really gotta consider this. Yeah. But now remember that the Saturday evening, the 20th of April, keep that date in mind. That's Saturday evening, the 20th of April. That's not too far from now. That'll be the evening after the Good Friday, what they call basically the Easter Saturday, I guess. I don't know what you call that. At 8 p.m. sharp, we will be premiering on the YouTube The Night of the Black Tiger, which is the divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey. And we'll be just doing it for, you know, a solo showing, and it will be there for just a few moments for those who would like to peep it. But of course, remember, you could definitely order your copy, official copy of The Night of the Black Tiger. Specifically, all you have to do is email us, of course, Priest Isaac at priestisaac27@gmail.com, and you can get a copy of The Night of the Black Tiger, the divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey. Get a copy of the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel. You know, of course, you know, we go into the depths of that. As someone linked me up just the other day, and they were saying, hey, Honorable Priest, I don't see no one answering the challenge. And the same thing here too. I don't see no one answering the challenge, although I was, you know, giving enough respect to even Bishop Nathaniel from the IUIC the other day, for those who were listening to the program that we were doing. I think it was on, what was that program about? The family, I think it was. And something, the psychological state of the mind, something it was. And we were talking about how Brother Nathaniel was dealing with that sister there in Sierra Leone. Wonderful interview. And I must respect him for how he handled that situation, you know what I mean, as a teacher and a scholar within his field. But as I said, yet still I've reached out to these brothers, and many ones, as it relates to the true biblical land of Israel. And I know these ones have, you know, heard me reach out. I know. And yet still they do not reach back. But it's all right. I mean, I ain't going to knock up with that right now. I have already moved on, to be honest. I've already moved on. No one in the sound of my voice can bring no proper argument to me, Priest Isaac, to dispute the book that I wrote, The True Biblical Land of Israel. It's obvious because none of them show up. I mean, I've asked, I specifically, and I'm not trying to, you know, disrespect nobody in their group, you know, please, you know that. But I've really reached out to basically all the Hebrew Israelites that I know. But it went way further, I feel, than Hebrew Israelites. I mean, we've touched the Jewish communities, Jewish colleges, synagogues, Christian colleges, Islamic schools, different level of institutes. I've sent out hundreds of emails this time around. This is something I've done years ago too. I mean, and it's really surprising, man, that like, wow, nobody will take up this challenge here. You know, one or two little people on YouTube and a little comment might, you know, but yeah, that's how you know them ain't serious people. One fella emailed me a whole chapter to read in the Bible, and I read the chapter, and up to now I don't know what he tried to tell me. I mean, come on, this ain't no joke, man. This is serious. If you take up the challenge, take up the challenge. You don't have to email me or tell me nothing. You can do a video just like this. You know what I mean? If nobody find it, I will put it on my channel and let the world see. Yeah, understand that you have put at least a 15-minute presentation challenging the theory of Honorable Priest Isaac that the land of Israel that the Bible speaks about is Africa plus Arabia. And you see, when you accept that, a lot of things change. A lot of things change. That's why you don't see me jumping into these arguments. Oh, if Solomon exists or Solomon don't exist. You know, see, I've already explained myself. I ain't going to go over it over and over again. This is a different science altogether. And where's Bethlehem and where's Jerusalem, and there's no proof of this and that because we never found this and that and a whole heap of things. And who are the true Israelites and the Falashas and not and the Africans and not, and a heap of weird conversations that my theory brings to an end. So maybe that's why people don't want to touch it. But anyway, the book is available. The True Biblical Land of Israel. You can definitely email me, and it's an ebook. We send you the copy of the book right away. And also The Night of the Black Tiger. Oh, we said that already. The book Anu, Ancient and Modern. Of course, you know the book Anu, Ancient and Modern. That only goes into the spirit of Antigua. But we highlight Green Castle Hill. And let me just highlight also again, I know everybody is really putting themselves together trying to hit one of these equinoxes or one of these solstices hikes that we do. But you don't have to worry, my brothers and sisters. If you desire to come to Antigua and experience Green Castle Hill, you could do it on your own timing. You don't have to wait for no special events. We do hikes, we do tours to Green Castle Hill all the time, daily sometime, you know, monthly special hikes, and of course these high times, the equinoxes and certain alignments and eclipses as well. So you can contact us no matter where you are in the world. You desire to come to Antigua and bask with us in the mystics of Green Castle Hill and all that is concerned therewith. It is not a problem, my good brothers and sisters. Just contact us and we will make the arrangement and show you whatever package would be available, depending on your aspect as well. You know, coming into the land, you know, you may need accommodation, you may need transportation, whatever the case is. We can put all of that in order for you. And of course, the experience to Green Castle Hill itself. You know, as far as your feasting and all of these different things, this as well, because, you know, we definitely thrive on the whole aspect of a vegan liberty. So just like when we have our packages for our solstice and our equinox, at your leisure, at your time, you contact us and our package is there for you. And although all inclusive, you know, you still are in a position where you yourself can do and pick whatever you desire or desire not, you know. Some of you that are coming to Antigua, you have family here, you know, you have friends here, and your accommodations may already be set. That's not a problem at all. So as I said, but if that's not the case, we have that all-inclusive package for you. So all you have to do is to contact us via email as well, again, and for sure, we definitely will make ourselves available to entertain you, whether it be for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. It's just your case and exactly what you have in mind. So just contact us, and of course all is well. So again, give thanks for your presence with us. And as I said, you gotta be careful with, you know, some of these leaders that are there, civil rights and all the other rights and black power and all of them things here. We just got to be careful even in this time. I mean, everybody has their own ideological outlook, but I'm telling you, when you are working with the enemy to to lead us astray. So for example, someone comes and they're pushing, let's say, you're supposed to be a Muslim, or you're supposed to be Rastafari. Let's say Rastafari. Because you know, some people actually, there was this document that one was showing me and saying that the 12 tribe of Israel, Rasta, and I'm not saying that I believe it. The 12 tribe, I don't have, well, I saw the document, but it was in like a little pamphlet kind, you know. I'm not just going to say because I read it, but it was saying that the 12 tribe of Israel, that group within Rastafari, straight up, was yeah, not infiltrated, but the root of it came forth from the CIA. So I was asking the brother, so how are you sure of this? And he's saying, well, this pamphlet came out of England, and the people in England know what's going on. I said, all right. I myself have tried to do some more research on it. I haven't really come with the knowledge that I would like to see, for me to use that as anything that I would say that I have as a point, you know. So I don't play around with those things. I can't be accusing nobody of these things and I don't have no facts. Look, Al Sharpton come out and say so for himself. You know what I mean? Brother Carrington is passed on as well too, so he can't speak for himself, but that don't mean the truth can't come out, you know. But the point I'm making, if that is so, there is some serious things. Very, very, very serious things. It's one thing, because remember, it's one thing for you to be preaching, as a Rasta, you're preaching Jesus then. People upset with you. That's what people, even Farrakhan, people say, boy, Minister Farrakhan sell out. Why? Okay, just preaching Jesus. Okay, fair enough. That may be his honest theology. He may genuinely feel from his heart that he should be expressing Jesus and not even Isa, but Jesus to the people. I can't be upset with him for that. But if he is being paid by some other entity purposely to inject Jesus in his theology purposely and expand it, man, them things there is worthy of the highest punishment that we have to mete out in our community. But then he's a part of an organization which, by right, if that is the case, they should be in the position to deal with that. But if that's the case, and obviously I'm not saying it is. In fact, again, I'll be very clear, I don't think that is the case. I think he genuinely believes that the Jesus aspect that has become very colorful in the teachings is a good way to get to the people that needs the truth. And everybody has their own way of doing what they do, and everybody has their own outlook on life. But if you're being paid to lead the people even an inch astray, boy, firing squad, straight up. Hey, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And of course, you know, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Give thanks. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. Subscribe to the Mystic Vibrations Shock of the Hour program today and never miss another episode. The Shock of the Hour is a Radio Anu exclusive program produced every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By now, I am sure that you are aware that all our programs are packed with information, inspiration, mystic vibrations, as well as hot button topics. Every evening we enter into a different dimension, even if it is a part 2 of the previous program, whether it's history or mystery, biology or philosophy, domestic affairs or the locks of your hair. The mystic vibration is sure to bring something new and interesting to the table every evening. So never miss another episode again. Subscribe to the Shock of the Hour now. And don't forget your key Swahili word of the day and your daily scientific fact. So, to subscribe, give us an email, priestisaac27@gmail.com, or call or WhatsApp us today. Area code 1268-728-3162. The Shock of the Hour. Never miss another program. And a special note to all our new subscribers. All our new subscribers will receive a special copy of the DVD documentary, full length, The Night of the Black Tiger, The Divinity of Marcus Messiah. Alafia to each and every one. Salamta and blessed love. Honorable Priest Isaac here. It is with great joy that I am happy to announce to you that I have officially released my first ebook, Anno Ancient and Modern Revisited. This is the continuation process of our easy-to-read books. Within the pages of Anno Ancient and Modern Revisited, we take the time to show you the spiritual connection with the island of Antigua and Heliopolis in Kemet in Egypt, with the island of Antigua and the legendary continent of Atlantis. We also highlight Green Castle Hill, also known as Mount Anu, which is known as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, with the countless of megaliths that align with the movement of the heavens. This is a must-read for all those who are students of the esoteric realms, astronomy, geology, and ancient sites. Of course, to get a copy of your book, all you have to do is to contact us at area code 1268-728-3162. Call, text, or even WhatsApp. Or you can email us at priestisaac27@gmail.com to get a copy of your ebook, Anno Ancient and Modern. It is an easy to read book, may appear light, but it is extremely heavy. Yes,